Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 29th of June 2023. India observes National Statistics Day on June 29 every year to honor the work and contribution of the late professor and scientist Prasanta Chandra Mahalan, obis in the field of statistics and economic planning. On June 29, 1757, Mir Zafar acquired the throne as the Nawab of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. From the Murshidabad on June 29, the Indies rebels headed by the Barakat Ahmad defeated the British in the Battle of Chinhat. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, the Hindu states that a nationwide surge in food price shows a retail inflation of far from tamed. Prices of rice, wheat, tour, dal, sugar, milk, potato, onion, and tomato climb. Consumer Affairs Ministry says seasonal factors are responsible government monitoring prices on the daily basis. Data from the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution as price monitoring division show that prices of 9 of the 10 key food items sampled by the Hindu had increased as on June 27, 2023. From a month earlier, the price of salt alone was unchanged. The Hindu newspaper also states that tribal community safety concerns led to many zero of FIRs in Manipur. Cookies allege police bias. Almost 30% of arson violence FIRs in Manipur over last 2 months have been zero FIRs. Tribal leaders say this is partly because they could not safely travel to the valley of to file cases. Members of the All Assam Students Union and the Northeast Students Organization take part in the candlelight vigil in Guwahati on June 28, 2023 for restoration of peace in Manipur. The Hindu newspaper also states that want to strike a truly ambitious trade deal with the India, says United Kingdom Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said that the United Kingdom wants to strike a trade deal that is ambitious and beneficial to both nations. United Kingdom Prime Minister Rishi Sunak seek to an agreement that would benefit both the nations, bringing opportunities to business and consumers. Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak leaves 10 Downing Streets in central London on June 2023, on his way to take part in the weekly session of Prime Minister's questions in the House of Commons. Going towards the Indian Express status that overseas spending using credit cards not to attract TCS for the purchase of an overseas tour program package. The TCS shall continue to apply at the rate of 5% of for the first rupees 7 lakh per individual per annum. The 20% rate will only apply for the expenditure above this limit, the ministry added. The government on Wednesday said overseas spending using international credit cards will not be included under the liberalized remittance scheme (LRS) and hence would not attract TCS. Indian Express also states that Congress is Telangana in charge. Manikaro Thakre rules out alliance with the BRS when there is unity of open parties. The BRS will be help BJP. Manikro Thakre tells the Indian Express that Congress also won't have an alliance with the AIMIM as there is no clarity whether the latter is not fighting the elections in the various states to cut Congress votes and help BJP. All India Congress Committee in charge of Telangana, Manikro Thakre. Indian Express also states that rock stars versus white walkers violent encounter between cheetah coalition in at Kuno National Park. According to the forest officials, the Namibian cheetah brothers Garo and Shoria, nicknamed the rock stars, and are believed to have fiercely defended their territory against the South Africa coalition Agni and Vayu, also known as the White Walkers. For the first time, Madhya Pradesh Kuno's National Park, a violent encounter took place between the two cheetah coalition, which wildlife officials said could be due to territorial disputes. Wildlife officials said that such violent interaction between male conditions were expected, and they are going to monitor the cheetahs closely to ensure such encounters don't take place in the future. Indian Express also stated that inaugurated 40 days ago cracks in Surat bridge after rain. Aam Aadmi Party Islam's government on Wednesday afternoon some passengers saw cracks on the bridge approach and to road towards Awaria Visuals were also shared on social media. Aam Aadmi Party leaders Dharmesh Bahindra Bedri and Dinesh Khachodia examined one of the cracks in the Surat bridge Wednesday. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that presumed human remains found in wreckage of Titan submersible United States Coast Guard. The United States Coast Guard says it has likely recovered human remains from the wreckage of the Titan submersible and bringing the evidence back to the United States. The submersible imploded last week, killing all five people on board. The vessel was on a voyage. See the wreck of the Titanic. Hindustan Times also states that how Modi Biden's chemistry proved to be a game changer. The personal relationship between President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Modi has been the game changer in driving the India-United States relationship, according to the Kurt Campbell, the Indo-Pacific coordinator of United States National Security Council. Hindustan Times also stated that Obama private citizen no coordination with the White House. Senior admin official says while the Joe Biden administration has enormous regard for the Prime Minister, for the former President Barack Obama, he is a private citizen and there was no coordination with the White House on his comments on India during the Prime Minister and Modi's visit. A senior administration official said former Prime Minister President Barack Obama comments created a domestic political backlash in India. Going towards the economy of the country, Indian economy resilient despite global uncertainty, says Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das speaks with the PTI Monday, June 26, 2023. Indian economy resilient despite global uncertainty, says the Reserve Bank of India Governor. Despite of the global economy facing a heightened uncertainty due to the banking system fragility in certain countries, persisting geopolitical tensions and moderating but elevated inflation, the Indian economy and the domestic financial system remain resilient, supported by the strong macroeconomic fundamentals. The Reserve Bank of India said in the 27th issue of the Financial Stability Report, which was released on Wednesday. EDS screenshot via PTI video. Mumbai Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das speaks with the PTI Monday, June 26, 2023. Overseas spending using credit cards not to attract tax collected at the source. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says the Finance Minister clarified that transactions through international credit cards while being overseas or would not be accounted as the LRS and hence would not be subjected to TCS. Biofertilizer scheme gets cabinet nod. Sugarcane FRP hiked. Prime Minister Pranam aims to PM Pranam is the scheme aims to save soil and promote sustainable balanced use of fertilizers. Total outlay is rupees 3.7 lakh crore. Sugarcane FRP hiked to rupees 10 to 315 per quintal for 10.2525 recovery rate. Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers Mansukh Mandavia addresses a press conference on a cabinet divisions in New Delhi on June 28, 2023. Going towards the world news, including debris from implosion of Titanic-bound submersible return to land. Biden says hard to tell Putin has been awakened by recent events. Nepal Supreme Court orders government to register same-sex marriage. Muslims at Hajj pilgrimage brave intense heat to cast stones at pillars representing the devil. Dozens of Israeli Air Force vets threaten not to serve after Netanyahu resumes judicial overhaul. Going towards the science and technology unit, UP government to expand green cover with the One Tap One Tree campaign. Saplings with the planted outside the homes of the household receiving the tap connections on the overhead tanks at pump houses and water treatment plants. These saplings will be planted by officials and employees of Namami Gange and Rural Water Supply Department. European Union calls for global tax on climate geoengineering risks. Geoengineering techniques include directly removing of carbon dioxide emissions from the atmosphere. The first plants to do this are already in operation, capturing carbon dioxide in the tiny quantities compared with the country's emissions. European Commissioner for European Green Deal, France Timmermans, speaks during a media conference at the status on threats of climate change and environmental degradation on the peace, security, and defense at European Union headquarters in Brussels, Wednesday on June 28, 2023. India ranked 67th on Energy Transition Index, Sweden on top, WEF says report. Sweden topped the list and was followed by the Denmark, Norway, Finland, and Switzerland in the top 5 on the list of 120 countries. The World Economic Forum on June 28 ranked India at the 67th place globally on its energy transaction index and has said it is only the major economy with the energy transition momentum accelerating across all dimensions. Increasing the renewable energy development has been a primary contributor to the improvement of India's performance. At last, there's a famous quotation shared by Sir Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman, C.V. Raman, whose birth anniversary is 7 November 1888 up to 21st November 1970, was an Indian physicist who known for his work in the field of light scattering using a spectrograph that he developed. He and his student K.S. Krishnan discovered that when light traverses a transparent material, the deflected light changes its wavelength and frequency. This phenomenon is a hitherto unknown type of scattering of light, which they called a modified scattering, was subsequently termed as the Raman effect or Raman scattering. Raman received the 1930 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery and was the first Asian to receive the Nobel Prize in a branch of science. Mr. Raman says a famous quotation. He says that it is not often that idealism of the student days finds adequate opportunity for expression in the later life of manhood. Okay, thank you.